Like, how do we?
Yeah, so this thing is not working, so
Okay.
for now, I will be
So I'm just going to signal
you say next, and I'm,
well, next, Bernardo,
okay,
next. Okay, this is me, Dr. Gabby. So one of the things that I think is the most interesting thing about being in Web3 is that we all had history before Web3, right? Nobody was born into Web3 because it's so new. My history before Web3 is that I have 15 years as a professor of holistic medicine. And I spent a whole lifetime working with people, physical, mental health, and addiction. And then when the pandemic came, do you guys remember there was a pandemic? It feels like ages ago, but it wasn't. I decided to take a sabbatical and go and do some humanitarian work. So if you want to go to the next slide, Bernardo. This is me in Dominican Republic. So I went to Dominican Republic, I went to Puerto Rico, I went to Guatemala, I went to parts of the US. And while I was doing that, I discovered that there are some projects that are using tokens to fund what they're doing. So they're building an entire ecosystem at Funfu, down in DR, where they're collecting trash. We collected these trash bags. It's a family that owns the farm. And they're using the plastic to make composite boards that are sold for building, and they're paying out the community in crypto, right? So it's a whole crypto system, and I didn't know what was going on. I was completely out of the loop, completely clueless, and I needed to educate myself about crypto, but I was already hooked because I saw the way that it was empowering people. We know that developing countries are more quick to adopt this for various reasons that we'll talk about a little bit more. Bernardo, hit it. Okay, so Bernardo covered this a little bit. How comfortable are you exploring this topic? Just shout out a number, scale of 1 to 10. Like, what's your comfort level? 10, 9, 12. Perfect. Okay, so yeah. You think they're lying. Well, there's an intimidation sometimes around this, right? Because it's partly technology, it's partly finance, right? It's partly social transformation. There's like a lot that encompasses this topic. So if you're intimidated, that's fine. It can be intimidating, and I hear that a lot of times, like especially I'm a member also of the Web3 Equity Tribe, and even just getting the minting, even just getting the minting, I'm still getting messages now months later, friends like, can you please help me? So it's okay if you're a little bit intimidated. I want you to feel like this is a safe space to ask stupid questions. Okay, hit it for now. Okay, so first I'm just going to start with a basic definition. What is cryptocurrency? So that we're all on the same page. Cryptocurrency is a digital currency that is secured by cryptography and monitored by a peer-to-peer network called a blockchain. Okay, that probably means nothing if you're a beginner. What it means is that for 500 years we've had a ledger, right? Which is how we record finance. And that ledger has mostly been on paper, and then it transitioned to like Excel spreadsheets or QuickBooks, right? That's the Web 2 version, right? That ledger then transitioned to something called a blockchain, which is a digital ledger. And that ledger is very secure by a process of validation, which I won't get into. But that's what digital currency, cryptocurrency is, okay? And we're going to explore this a little bit more throughout the presentation. Any questions about this so far? We're good? Okay, hit it. Okay, so hit it again. Okay, I'm going to tell you very briefly. I'm not going deep into these. If you need more information, I'll provide. I'm going to tell you very, very briefly the difference between fiat currency and digital currency. Okay? Fiat currency, dollars, pesos, euros, any of those currencies world because of the drama with the banks. So that's first and foremost the biggest difference. Questions about that? Okay, centralized versus decentralized. This is something you're going to hear often. Something that's centralized is like a pyramid, okay? There's somebody at the top and there's people at the bottom. The centralized is a bank. There's bankers, and then we give them their money and they control the rates for your mortgage, right? They decide all those things, right? They decide how much credit you can have, what your credit score is going to be, right? It's controlled, it's like a pyramid. Decentralized, all the people make the decision together, okay? Decentralized, decentralized. We get to decide. We get to decide the value, okay, of the money. We get to decide in a DAO, a decentralized autonomous organization, how we create value, how we create community, how we share that money with each other, like a shared bank account, okay? That's decentralized. So again, we can bypass all those organizations that have kind of created those constraints that are very familiar to us. Hit it, Bernardo. Okay, securities versus properties. Most people think that the dollar is backed by gold. The dollar has been decoupled from gold for 40 years. There is no vault with lots of gold that's connected to your dollar that you can go and trade your dollar for the gold. That's not a reality. Most of us don't know that that's not a reality. Most of us think that there is a locker somewhere, and the amount of money that it says in our bank account is held in that locker, and all we have to do is go to the bank and get the money out of the locker. That's not true. What the bank does is once you give them your money, they spend, lend, invest your money, and the U.S. as a whole is $30 trillion in debt from losing some of your money that you think is in a bank somewhere, but it's not, okay? So when fiat currency is based on a promise note, it's based on a debt, okay? That's not the way crypto works. Crypto is a security, it's an asset. It means that you mentioned music. You have a song, right? So you have IP for that song. And that song can be an asset that can be bought, sold, and traded, right? Which is totally different than what fiat currency is. And so they're regulated differently, completely differently, traded differently, exchanged differently. Hit it, Fernando. Okay, censorship versus transparency. Who knows what your bank is doing with your money right now? Raise your hand. Tell me.
They're loaning it out to other people.
Do you know who they're giving it to?
Other banks.
Do you know who they're giving it to? Do you know who they're investing your dollars in?
They're investing some of it on their own, like to make their own money.
But do you know what company they're giving it to? I'm sorry. Like if you're with Bank of America, do you know what Bank of America is investing your dollars in?
So a lot of times they invested, like that's what the problem back in 2008 was they invested in these assets that
100%.
Right, so they only required to keep a certain amount of money on reserve, and the rest of it they were loaned out and people invested to make their own money off of it.
Oh, is that clear? Do you know what they're doing with your money right now? Do you know what Chase is doing with your money? Who has money at Chase? Who has money at Bank of America? Who has money at a credit union? You guys have money, and did you know what they're doing with your money? The difference. Okay. Spending it. The difference between that and the blockchain is it's completely transparent. It's just there. It's transparent. So you have a totally different level of access to it, Bernardo. Okay, and then fungible versus non-fungible. So this is going to be critical for you to understand. So what does NFT stand for? Who knows what that acronym stands for? Non-fungible token. Non-fungible token. Say it with me. Non-fungible token. Yeah, okay. Non-fungible token. Do you know what non-fungible means? Unique. It means unique. If I have a fiat dollar in my wallet and you have a fiat dollar in your wallet, it's not unique. We can trade those dollars. Bitcoin. Some of you probably gone to the Bitcoin conference. In addition to Bitcoin, there are 11,000 coins in the market. Okay? There's something called an ICO, which is, a coin offering, and people are offering coins all the time. Each of the coins have different organizations and different founders behind them, different values. Maybe they're connected to a DAO. But there's not just Bitcoin. There's 11,000 coins in the ecosystem of cryptocurrency. Hit it. There's more than 400 exchanges. So some of you may have used Coinbase, for example, to exchange, right? And that's one of 400 different exchanges globally where you can exchange cryptocurrency. Hit it again. More than 80 wallets. So some of you may have a MetaMask wallet, some of you may have a Coinbase wallet. There's 80 wallets in the ecosystem. More than 15,000 businesses. I was driving here this morning and I was cracking up so hard because there, Scarlett's the strip club off of 95. So there was like one of those big LED banners and it's like, now accepting Bitcoin. And I was like, strippers want Bitcoin too. Okay, so businesses accepting coins, more than 25,000 ATMs. Okay, hit it again. We'll go into these a little bit more in depth. Okay, coins. What's a coin? You can tell me what a coin is. What's a coin? Nobody knows what a coin is? Yeah. Right.
Like a definition.
Right. It's a particular, you want to tell them? Okay. Go ahead. No, go ahead. Okay, so coin lives on the blockchain. A coin isn't the blockchain. It's something that lives on the blockchain. You look like you know. Do you want to tell me?
Pocket value.
Right. It's a pocket value. It's a great way to describe it. And it's on a blockchain. So you hear that Bitcoin is a blockchain and Ethereum is a different blockchain. Have you heard that they're different blockchains? Has anyone heard that? So what happened is first there was Bitcoin, and then the guys that were using it, they didn't like it so much, and they wanted something different, and they did something different, and it's a different blockchain, and then they put coins on that blockchain, right? So those are separate. There's a couple of really good books about Ethereum, actually. Okay, then these are some of the most popular coins at the time of this screenshot, which changes like every 5 seconds. But when I took this screenshot, these were the 10 most popular coins, meaning they held the most value. And each one of these is different. Like for example, I get paid in USD coin because it's a stable coin. So it's always $1. Whereas these other ones are fluctuating all the time and they're unstable. So there are characteristics of coins that define them and their personality. Okay, hit it. Okay, so exchanges. We talked about how there's many exchanges. Binance, have you heard of Binance? Binance is the most popular exchange at the time of the screenshot, followed by Mandala, CoinFlex, OKX, Coinbase is actually not all the way at the top, although it is one of the more popular ones in the US. These are in billions of dollars transactions. Who knows in here the amount of value overall in the cryptocurrency market? Raise your hand. 2 trillion. 2 trillion. So just to give you a frame of reference, I'll get to you right next. To give you a frame of reference, that's more than the economy of Canada. That's more than the economy of Italy. It's nearly the economy of Great Britain. It's a massive market. Go ahead, jump in.
I was just going to say, and I believe only 2% of them is actually even insured.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we're going to get into security towards the end of the presentation. Hit it. Okay, wallets. So who has a wallet on their phone? About half the room? Okay, so raise your hand again really high. Okay, people who don't have a wallet on your phone, after this presentation, raise your hand. I want the non-hand people to look around and pick someone that has a hand up, and I want them to show you the wallet they have and how you put one on your phone. You're going to need this. You're going to need this going forward. It's just a good exercise for you to learn, to go in your app, download the wallet. It's not scary. It will literally put you in Web3 in just one gesture. So just find somebody, figure out what a wallet is, learn how to download it. There's a lot of different options. Hit it. Okay, businesses, we talked about strip clubs. In addition to strip clubs, there's a lot of other businesses that you can sell Bitcoin. Hit it. Okay, ATMs. This is Gabby in Dominican Republic in front of a Bitcoin ATM. Okay, you need a wallet. You need a crypto wallet on your so that when you put money into the ATM, it has somewhere to send the Bitcoin, okay? There are 24,000 ATMs worldwide. It is. Okay, so where are you currently banking your fiat? Crypto, turn to your neighbor, and based on what you've learned today, would you make any changes? Turn to your neighbor and tell them where you're banking, and if you make any changes in your banking. No? No changes? Where are you banking? Do you have half this money in fiat? Do you have 'Cause cold wallet. Don't ever leave money decentralized finance has the opportunity to create today.
Oh.
Yeah! Okay, so security, crypto goals, biggest takeaway. Somebody shout out a takeaway from what we've covered so far. Go ahead.
Your experience in DR is illuminating, beautiful, and thank you for sharing.
Yeah, my pleasure. Any other takeaways? I'm gonna call on you. I'm gonna call on you if you don't say anything.
I love the stats page. I actually, afterward, take a picture of it. The 11,000 wallets,
Exactly.
so many exchanges. That's really cool.
400 exchanges, 80 wallets. Yeah, absolutely. It's a bigger system a lot of times than you think it is, because we get hyper-focused like on Bitcoin or Coinbase, and we don't realize just the proliferation that's happening.
That's the slide she's talking about.
Thanks so much.
Yeah. And this literally, I made this presentation like maybe 3 months ago, and for all I know, this has doubled in the last 3 months. Like, I didn't even check it this morning, but that's how fast things are changing.
So 3 months ago?
Yeah, I made this presentation in February. What is it? It's almost May. Yeah, so it could be very different. Go ahead.
I think there's a lot behind this idea of trust and trustlessness.
Yeah.
You know, and like being in control of what people are doing with their money.
Yeah.
These are a really big motivating factor.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, go ahead.
I love it when we put it into perspective and also to hear everyone's definition of what Web3 is in general. Because the more you hear it, the more you see that definition change, even as NFTs and use cases. And then going back to like whatever everyone's scared of, whatever your fears are within Web3, you realize it also exists in Web2 and it exists this whole time. How many of you haven't lost money from your Chase account where money is missing from your card and yes, it gets reinstated, but it happens, it still happens. You can still get scammed out of your regular Instagram account, like anyone. It's like you have to just be diligent and diversify yourself as much as possible. And that's what I get from hearing you saying all of
Yes.
this. It just reminds it. It reminds me of it more and more.
Yeah. Go ahead, Josh.
Research revealed that as of February 2021, there are 82 cryptocurrency wallets available.
Okay.
So it's not
Add two more wallets. Yes.
Because like I'm Asian American, so I
Yes.
definitely can see myself going back to Haiti and being able
Yes.
to teach people more about it because
Yes.
you know nations are able to actually be on WhatsApp now, so there's more
Yes.
cafes and different things.
Yes.
So I absolutely love the idea of paying it forward.
Dude, it's so powerful. It's so powerful for people that can avoid the banks, which is why the people that are fastest to adopt this are developing countries, are Central America, are Africa. They're like light years ahead of us in terms of adopting. All you need is a Wi-Fi connection. That's all you need now. Okay, so let's forward to we're at the takeaways. We talked about takeaways. Okay, so these are some of the many books. I'm completely self-educated in this. I came back from DR and I was like, I need to teach myself everything about crypto and Web3 that I possibly can. So I signed up for a free course from Wharton Business School on Coursera called Blockchain and Cryptocurrency. I highly recommend it. It's super boring, like really boring, but like it will give you the sort of nitty gritty, so you kind of have to do it in bite-sized pieces. Then I love stories, so I tend to pick the books that are narrative driven, like Kings of Crypto is the narration of all the whole Coinbase thing. The Infinite Machine is the narrative of everything with Ethereum, how they separated from Bitcoin and developed that chain. This book is amazing if like you don't know anything about finance at all, and it breaks down all the different ways that we're going to use blockchain to create assets, like an asset for a mortgage or an asset for stocks, or it's just amazing. And then this guy, he has like an amazing YouTube channel. I don't know if you know him, Andreas. Do you know him?
Yeah.
Oh my god, isn't he amazing? Every time I listen to him,
He's an OG.
all over my body.
He's been an OG for
Amazing. Very, you're a beginner, very, very accessible. And the book is just a transcription of his YouTube video. So you can just skip it and go to YouTube if you want. Bitcoin Standard is Bitcoin Standard. I do free Zoom calls twice a month. The replays live on Patreon, so you can watch all the ones we've done before. I have one coming up on Monday at noon. If you ever want to jump in, It just, send me a message and I can throw you in record cut.
What's the name of the class that you took?
It's called, do you know Coursera?
Yeah.
Coursera, Coursera. It's all free academic courses from universities all over the world. So one of the courses on there is from the Wharton Business School at the University of Pennsylvania, and it's called Blockchain and Cryptocurrency. And it's like, I don't know, 6 or 8 modules of a lady staring into the camera and saying words. But it's like, it gives you a good academic experience. Questions? What's the next slide? That's it, I think that's it.
Yep.
Okay, that's it. Any questions?
It's another good book that just got published from the Cryptocamp by
Yeah, I know, I love her. She's amazing. I love her. She has a really good podcast. There's a lot of good podcasts.
How did you find you for your class?
That's a question.
How did they find yours?
I mean, what do you want? I'm just gonna tell you my phone number because like I feel like that's the best way to talk about trust.
Really?
Yeah, I'm
Social media?
I'm on social media. You want my social media?
Sure, I think
So I'm Dr.
you should
Gabby
just be
on social media.
followers on your Instagram.
I